everyone, my name is Megan, and today I'm going to read part of Chapter 1 of the book, Maggie and Abby's Neverending Pillow Fort. It is written by Will Taylor and is read to you with the kind permission of Harper, an imprint of HarperCollins Publishers. So thank you. Chapter 1. There's no sound in the world quite like the sound of a cat getting stuck to an ice cream truck. Most kids would have missed it, but after 6 weeks without Abby, 6 weeks of being almost completely on my own, 6 weeks where going out to get the mail was becoming the best part of my day, my senses were on high alert for anything even halfway interesting while I was out there. It went down, blink by blink, in perfect slow motion. Plink, plink, doo, doodle, doo, plink, went the ice cream truck parked innocently across the street, its music filling the summer afternoon. Meow, went Samson, Abby's huge black and white cat, launching himself at something small and buzzy near the back of the truck. Went Samson Snagglepaw, the one with the claws he couldn't pull back, latching with a plasticky crinkle onto the vinyl banner advertising Robo-Pops and chocolate swirl bars and fun Rainbow Krispies. Slam! Went Caitlin, the high school senior across the street, who always stopped to use her own bathroom when she was out on her ice cream route, leaving her house with her eyes glued to her phone. Meow! Went Samson again, tugging forlornly at his paw. The banner shook, and the cat stayed stuck. Caitlin was laughing at something happening on her screen. She didn't see Samson. She climbed into the driver's seat. She turned on the engine. Hey, no wait, went my heart. If Caitlin drove away, Samson could get hurt. He could lose his claws for good. Or worse, Caitlin might back up and Samson could be killed. Or Caitlin might start driving, see Samson in her side mirror, panic drive into a utility pole, and then Caitlin could be killed. Or she might slam on the brakes, making a truck that could possibly be behind her, by then veering out of the way to avoid her, jump the curb, and hit me instead, and then I could be killed. Or a truck could be coming from one way and a school bus from the other, and Caitlin might still be laughing at her phone, and in the confusion, all of us could be killed. This was a potential disaster on an epic scale. This was the Titanic pulling away with every kitten on Earth napping in the cargo hold. No, this was the space shuttle counting down to liftoff with an entire kindergarten class hiding under its booster rockets. I had to do something. Options, Maggie, options. Got it. Get the shuttle operator's attention. Caitlin, I yelled. No response. My call was lost in the plinking roar of the musical liftoff engines. I stepped forward to cross the spaceport tarmac, but a lunar cargo supply truck zoomed by from the other direction, and I flinched back. I couldn't get out there in time. It's too dangerous. Meow, cried the cornered kindergarten class. Through the waffle cone decals of the shuttle window, I saw the pilot strap herself in, snap her visor down, and I had seconds to act. I stared around desperately, then looked down at my hands and smiled. They were full of flares, charged and ready for use. Of course! I'd planned for this. I always planned ahead because something could always go wrong. I planted my feet right on the edge of the tarmac, took a deep breath, and threw both hands up and out and forward, and shouted again, giving it everything I'd got just as the shuttle began to move. Hey! My voice rang around the space depot, echoing off the shiny chrome buildings, rising to a roar as the flares exploded into thousands of shiny white sparks flying through the air in all directions. The wind blew my hair back, and I laughed in triumph and relief as the driver looked up from the shuttle and slammed to a halt. The fire in its engines died. Hey, Caitlin called back, rolling down her window. You dropped your mail. I blinked and looked around. She was right. The mail I just collected was scattered on the hot street between us. 5 or 6 envelopes, and a catalog for discount wrapping paper. You caught a cat, I said, pointing. Caitlin quirked an eyebrow. I looked both ways, jogged across the road. Caitlin turned off the engine and got out. Oh, hey, she said, as I unhooked Samson from her truck. That's not good at all. She scratched Samson's ear. Sorry, I almost dragged you off, buddy. Lucky you were out here to see him, Maggie. Luck had nothing to do with it, I thought. A special agent rescue specialist trained in the use of flares always knows where and when she'll be needed. The wind blew through my hair. Sure, I said, gathering Samson up into my arms. He was already purring. Thanks for stopping. Caitlin laughed, like I had a choice. I've seen people do a lot of weird things to flag down an ice cream truck, but no one's ever threw their mail at me before. I looked up and down the street. There were no cars coming, but I didn't get the remains of those flares picked up quick. I'd have to explain to my mom why her catalog had tire tracks on it. Hey, do you think, I said, shrugging Samson to show that my hands were full. Of course, said Caitlin. You saved the day. I repeated the phrase to myself, picturing a glorious victory parade for me going down the street as Caitlin gathered the mail and tucked it under my arm. Was this yours too? She asked, holding up a cheap plastic pen. I squinted at it. Ah, yes, the hypno ray gun I had been flipping through my fingers when I approached the mailbox. You never know when those things will come in handy. You keep it, I said generously. I've got plenty more. Okay, thanks. Caitlin slipped the pen into her pocket. Here, hang on a second. She opened the back of the truck, rummaged around, emerging with a wrapped Mega Ultra Caramel Swizzle Cone. On me, she said, setting it in my elbow between Samson. Wow, thanks! I dropped my voice trying to be cool and not sound like I don't know a third grader. You don't have to do that. You helped me out, Caitlin said, and you've been alone this whole summer. Thought maybe you could use a pick-me-up or something? Huh? I said, how do you know I've been alone? Caitlin pulled out her phone again. I live across the street, remember? I see you all the time sitting up on your roof or staring into space every time you get the mail. Your friend went to summer camp without you, right? Abby? Yeah, she went to summer camp. This was weird. So Caitlin had been watching me, had she? I began assessing the rival spy agency she might be working for. How did you got a postcard from her in there? Caitlin nodded towards the mail, getting sweaty in my armpit. Plus one of her brothers told me. She tilted her head toward the turquoise house, one to the right of mine, Abby's house. Her twin brothers had stayed home all summer. I'd seen them playing soccer in their front yard, but they were juniors in high school and about as likely to hang out with a soon-to-be sixth grader like me as Caitlin was. Abby's coming home soon, though, I said. Very soon. Suddenly, I was burning with impatience. My arms were full of successfully rescued cat, free ice cream, and apparently at least one postcard from Abby. This mission was officially over. Anyways, thanks again for the swizzle cone, I said, scanning the road. Sure. Thanks for saving me from the cat, or the other way around. Hope your summer gets better, Caitlin said, tapping at her phone. Then she stopped. She looked up at me. Really looked. You know what? She said, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have assumed just because you're alone, you're not okay. People can have amazing things going on in their lives that no one else knows about. I bet you're having a whole summer full of awesome adventures, aren't you? She smiled, patting me on the shoulder. Of course you are. Go get 'em, Tiger. She returned to the truck. It was my turn to quirk an eyebrow. Yeah, definitely not suspicious behavior. Definitely not clearly working for a counter spy agency. I got a hurried You too, as Caitlin closed the door. Then I crossed the back of my own territory. The tinkling of the ice cream truck faded in the distance as Samson twisted lazily out of my arms and dropped onto the grass, taking the mail and ice cream with him. "You're welcome, buddy," I called back as his tail disappeared through the gap of the fence leading to Abby's place. So that is, again, Maggie and Abby's Never-Ending Pillow Fort. You can get it at the library. If you want to share anything, you can just send it to our email. It's kids, kids, @lcplin.org. Again, it's kids@lcplin.org. Thank you guys for listening. Bye.